How's it going, guys? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting and welcome back to Riddle Joker. Now, we've officially launched ourselves and we have gone on the Hazuki route. I'm very excited about this because Hazuki has been, of the girls, I think she was the most interesting and fun of the characters. Now, so if you've said, it sounds like to me the consensus, based on just the general opinions that have been shared, which I do appreciate, is that while Hazuki is a fantastic character, that her route is not the most engaging with the plot and with the setup of the world and everything, which is a little unfortunate. But as you know, we do one playthrough on the channel. I'll go and experience the other ones as well, but I'm only showcasing the one. And you know, the whole point of this is playing it live, playing it blind, essentially, is to give you an experience based on just my first instincts and everything. And you're seeing my first playthrough of everything, so here we are. But yeah, we're going through, and Hazuki's kind of ended up realizing that she really has fallen for Satoru. Which is really interesting. And we actually had a surprising twist happen last episode where Satoru confirmed that he was the young man who likely rescued her when they were younger, whom she's been like looking up to and kind of idolizing ever since she was young. And like now I'm wondering if her perception is going to clash heavily with reality, as she starts seeing that while Satoru is a great guy, he's got, you know, flaws because he's a human, and how she has inadvertently put him on this pedestal that he never asked for. But, you know, she's also decided that she's fallen in love for the first time. And while she's new at that, she doesn't want to mess it up. And she's done something that I think was very real and very human. She called her mom and asked for her advice about stuff. And that was really cool to see. Because a lot of times you get caught up in these stories in a lot of visual novels that are very tropey as far like anime are, where like you get these kids who are experiencing love maybe for the first time, or maybe for one of the first times, and they just kind of faff about. You know, they don't really make progress. They get terrified of any form of relative commitment whatsoever, but are also not like are unable to allow people to make their own decisions because like they want to keep someone to themselves, but then they also never make a move, and it just becomes like, you know, this game of cat and mouse. For Hazuki to be able to be like, look, I have feelings for this person and I don't know what to do with them, so I'm going to talk to someone who was experienced, you know, my parents, whom I trust, and I'm going to ask for their advice. That's a really very like realistic and normal thing to happen. Something I did growing up. You know, when I wanted dating advice, I turned to my parents. And, you know, no parents are perfect. I mean, my parents ended up, their marriage ended up falling apart, but like they still have like information they can share. And especially if you've got a good relationship with your parents, like it's such a good thing to do. And so I kind of loved how real it kind of comes across, and how funny that is in a world that's so obviously like fictional and like, you know, full of powers and abilities that people have, and yet there's very much a large like kernel of like humanity in the story, which just shows how well written this was. So anyway, let's just jump into it, continue to enjoy our story together, and kind of see as these two fumble about with their feelings. I don't know how Satoru feels. He's kind of awakening to this idea that he might care about her more than normal. He's at least admitted his appreciation for just how beautiful he finds her. She's absolutely like taken the pill and has gone straight for like, I'm in love with this guy and I think we can get married. Little over the top, but at the same time, she's, again, Hazuki reminds me a lot of me, in that even when I was in high school, I wasn't super into dating frivolously. Like, I only was really interested in somebody whom I did think I could eventually see myself getting married to, which is really funny because like it's a really serious way of thinking for someone in high school, but it's absolutely how I thought. So seeing her think that way too is it's amusing and like very relatable. And whilst I wouldn't throw and say that she's just planning the marriage from this point on, I think she just couldn't see herself falling for somebody unless that was like on the table as a potential future. There's a lot of people, I think, who just date people whom they find attractive or who think they're fun to be around, but like don't really consider or think about like, what if we ended up going and getting married someday? But Hazuki seems very much like grounded in that regard. So we're going to see how she does with this, because I'm guessing that relations are going to start a little rocky, but then smooth out pretty quick. And then we're going to start seeing, I don't know, the story evolve. And I'm curious to see where that happens. So let's get started. Good morning. It's time for our morning jog. As usual, I step out of the door to see Nijo-san already outside and ready.
昨日はお恥ずかしいところを見せてしまって申し訳ない。いや、まず言うべきことはありがとうだな。助けてもらったのにろくにお礼も言えずに申し訳ない。
It was a tense moment. I'm pretty sure we're fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Do you feel better now? You got thrown pretty high in the air.
ありがとう。大丈夫だ。むしろ私のような重いものを受け止めてくれた有原くんの方が心配だ。腕とか肩とか怪我はしなかっただろうか。
For a normal person, that would actually be dangerous. And even though we have enhancement, we do take physical injuries. So I'm guessing Nanami had to step in last night because, yeah, she's actually got a good point here. It's okay. You're pretty light. And I train daily to withstand stuff like that. She smiles when I reassure her.
有原くんは優しいんだな。女性への気遣いが自然と身についている。さすがは白馬の将軍様だ。
Oh boy, saying stuff like that though, that's gotta be like, what do you do with that? Because that's like, huh?
いやいや、そう、鍛錬。日頃の鍛錬は大事なことだと改めて感心していたんだ。
Well, I'm failing in that department personally. Yeah.
昨日触った時も固く引き締まっていて筋肉質な体だなと。きっと鍛錬のおかげだろう。
Alright, Hazuki. What? Oh, right, when I held her in my arms. I start to remember it all. The sensation of her soft, squishy, boobs, of course, but also her supple and toned thighs. Yeah, your skin felt really soft and nice too.
やはりだらしのないスタイルでは将軍様とは言えないからな。そうか。私の体は柔らかくて触り心地が。
We're like having two parallel conversations right now.
触り心地って。有原くん、君はそんなにスケベな男性だったのか？
Hold on. You literally just said the same type of thing just a second ago. I'm seeing a double standard here. It's not my fault. You're just really attractive.
そうか。私が魅力的。確かに裸同然の姿で触れ合いながら何の下心も抱かれないようでは女子として悲しいような。
She is super overanalyzing.
まあいい。この件はひとまず保留だ。
What? On hold till when? Well, as long as it clears me of sexual harassment suspicions, I'm not complaining.
それでだな、有原くん。
Yeah?
こんな話の後で恐縮なんだが、よければ君の体を触らせてくれないか？
Why? Excuse me?
いや、おかしな意味ではないぞ。私はただ、有原くんの体というか、筋肉の具合というか、身体能力が調べたいんだ。
You know, in a pure vacuum, apart from everything we've just been talking about, which definitely sets the stage a lot differently, I would point out that we have a decent, grasp of her powers, but she doesn't really have a grasp of our abilities. It kind of makes sense that she'd be curious. I'm getting flashbacks to Bayou-senpai now. Okay, but why do you want to know that?
なんでって。それは、そう！アストラル能力を制御するためだ。私ももっと有原くんのように鍛えた方がいいんじゃないかと思ってな。
Right. What is she talking about? Gotta say, she's acting strange today. Well, male and female physiques are different. I don't think studying me would help you any.
それでも君の体を触りたいんだ。
She wants what she wants, man. She's sounding more and more like a molester.
この通り、頼む。
She sticks out her hand pleadingly. Well, I guess it can't hurt. Okay, touch as much as you want. Don't open the doors.
ありがとう。恩に着る。
I roll up my sleeve and she touches my arm.
やはり男子の腕は硬いな。たくましい。
What is this? She continues to feel my arm up all over, poking, prodding at it. Kind of tickles, and she's right up in my face.
でも、そこまで太くはないな。
Didn't I tell you already? I don't do any special training.
筋性が取れていて、無駄のない筋肉だ。 私も有原くんにはこのくらいがちょうどいいと思う。
She rolls up her sleeve and pinches her arm.
いいなあ。有原くんと比べると、私の二の腕は柔らかいというか、ぷよっとしているんだ。
Oh, maybe you're neglecting your upper body training. Well, you train harder than the average girl, so I'm sure you have a bit of muscle to your arms.
そうかな。自分ではよくわからないんだ。有原くん、触ってみてくれ。
Someone's gonna walk in on this. I can already feel it. Huh? She turns her exposed arm to me. No, I shouldn't just casually touch you.
もちろん、みだりに触るのはいけないぞ。だが今回は、私の方から触ってくれと頼んでいるんだ。遠慮しなくていい。
I mean, she's right. She literally asked you. She sticks out her arm and approaches. If you say so, I guess. I touch her slender arm. It's softer than mine, sure, but I wouldn't say it's squishy as jelly or anything. I grab her wrist with one hand and pat her forearm with the other. Sorry. She lets out some strangely sensual moan, which prompts me to let go.
いや、私こそ変な声を出してしまう。
Okay, this whole touching each other thing's getting a little weird now. Oh, it's just barely starting to be weird. Interesting. Sitting over here, I wouldn't agree with that.
まあ、有原くんは思った通りの体つきだということが分かった。今はそれで十分だ。
What the bitch? What is this?
やはり私ももう少し鍛錬を重ねた方がいいようだ。そこでだ。そんな私に的確にアドバイスできるのは日頃から鍛錬を積んでいる有原くんしかいない。
Okay.
どうだろう、有原くん。私に協力してくれないか？
Sure. While we're at it, why don't we get Mitsukaze-san too, so...
いや、いいんだ。有原くんだけで。
But isn't more better?
二人がいいんだ。
I'd be like, oh, to the heart. Okay, sure, I'll do whatever you want. I don't know why, but she looks a lot more serious this time than any of the other previous times she's asked for my help. Okay, let's do it together.
ありがとう、有原くん。
Still, just to warn you again, I'm really not doing anything groundbreaking when it comes to training.
いや、そんなはずはない。有原くんの動きを見て思ったが、何か格闘技を狙っているはずだ。なぜ隠すんだ？
Uh-oh. Well, it's just embarrassing. I can't tell her I'm hiding my identity.
恥ずかしがる必要がどこにある？むしろあんな風に動ける有原くんが羨ましいぞ。
She is definitely gonna find out, though. She's way too sharp.
私はとっさの出来事にすぐ反応できなくてな。だから、もっと動けるようになりたいんだ。ぜひ私に有原くんの腕前を見せてくれ。
You know what, a good explanation that would actually make a lot of sense would be, I'd be like, look, when I was young, I tended to get into trouble. And maybe it was a, expression of my astral ability. You know, I was very skilled physically and could enhance myself physically. And so naturally, I ended up getting in a lot more physical altercations. But when I was young and I had times where I would get upset or lose control, I found that I was at risk of doing harm when I didn't mean to, and my motivations became blurry even to me, and so I went and started studying as a way to channel that frustration and anger. But it's embarrassing because I don't like admitting that I was out of control to begin with. There's not much more I could do beyond what I already showed you without a sparring partner.
それなら私が相手になろう。もちろん能力使用もありで構わない。
Quit joking around. That's a bad idea. When I fight to incapacitate my opponents. It's not the friendly sparring she must be thinking of.
心配するな。私も武術を少々かじっている身だ。そう簡単にやられはしない。
Is she forgetting our ability, though?
あの時は有原くんに助けてもらったが、今なら違う結果も見えるはず。
She puts up her fists and cracks her knuckles.
さあ、お相手を願おうか。
Oh boy. You seriously want to spar with me? I'd rather not hurt you.
私に怪我をさせられるほど、君は強いのか？
Especially with my ability, yes. Maybe.
大した自信だ。だが私だって、遅れを取るつもりはない。
Okay. I don't think she'll stop until I show her something. Well, if she wants it so badly, then so be it. Alright. You don't have any armor, though, so be careful.
はあ、もちろんだ。
Ah, fetch! Just took her down in one swipe, right?
負けた。ボロボロだ。
Are you okay? you alright? I help her up after throwing her to the ground. She was surprisingly tough. She was conscious of her weak points, had sharp reflexes, and her movements were precise and calculated, not something you often see from someone her age. Still, she had neither the strength nor the experience to stand a chance against me.
強いな、有原くんは。すごいじゃないか。元より勝てるとは思っていなかったが、こうも一方的にやられるとはな。
Sorry, you were a little harder to handle than I thought, so I couldn't hold back. She was far too fast for me to relax. That's why I ended up hurling her to the ground.
いいんだ。私が望んだ通りの結果が得られたからな。
That's good though. I'm glad that she can actually kind of surprise him. That's good. What do you mean?
有原くんは私より強い。白馬の将軍様にふさわしい人物だということが証明されたんだ。
I can't just keep brushing away. You keep mentioning this. I wish she'd stop calling me that. It's really embarrassing. You're stronger than I thought too. What kind of martial arts did you study?
私のは合気道だ。
Oh, that's a good one.
小さい頃、お父様と一緒に時代劇を見ていて、自分もあんな風に悪い人を懲らしめて困っている人を助けたいと言ったんだ。それならと、お父様は合気道の道場へと通わせてくれた。これでも筋がいいと言われたんだぞ。
Yeah, I can see that too. You're definitely good. She knows how to move. If she's trained seriously, I bet she could even become a special investigator. See, that'd be kind of cool. What if she became an agent with us? She'd be good at it.
そうか。有原くんに褒められると嬉しいな。
But I hope you never end up having to use those skills in a real life. Violence is bad.
その通りだな。しかし、備えることは無意味だとは思わない。だから、有原くんも鍛えているんだろ？
True. I guess.
私たち、似た者同士だな。
I think it's away from the story, she's absolutely right. They really have a lot of similar morals. Like, he's actively involved in protecting people. Yes, it's on the shady side, but he's, highly motivated. He believes in what he's doing, and he's not blind to it. I feel like if they ever asked him to do something truly unethical, he would have a problem and likely would resist it. I think Hazuki comes from a very similar position of morality and uprightness and wanting to do good by the world and to help people in ways that normal people can't. They're very similar in that regard. Maybe so. I find myself smiling despite my best efforts. Our methods are different, but we aspire for the same goals. After school, Nijo-san approaches me as I'm packing up my stuff and getting ready to leave.
やあ、有原くん。つかぬことを聞くが。
Sure, what's up?
勉強についてだ。以前、学院の方が授業進度が早いと言っていたな。
Yeah. I think I did say something along those lines.
あれからどうだ？授業でわからないことなどないか？
Well, it's starting to make more sense, but I'm still a little worried. I managed to keep up, but I definitely haven't mastered the material at all.
そうか。それではテストで困るだろう。
Oh, yeah, I guess. Dad did ask me to tell him how I do on them. If I straight up fail them, I'm going to be in an awful time.
それならちょうどいい。今日は私と一緒に勉強しよう。
A study session between you and me.
前にも言ったじゃないか。生活面だけでなく、勉強面でも困ったことがあったら頼ってくれと。
And it's a good deal. I sense another motive, though.
というわけで、一緒に頑張ろう。
She's awful pushy today. I appreciate the offer, but why now?
それは、いいじゃないか。今なら私も暇なんだ。ちょうどいいと思ってな。
Do you not have any other friends? Hey! Bro, come on! Oof, looks like I hit too close to home.
いないわけじゃない。ただその、趣味を共有できる人間が少なくてだな。
Right. Not many people in our generation have the level of passion that she does for historical shows.
今から期末テスト対策をしておけば万全の準備ができるぞ。一人ではなかなかやる気にならないだろうが、私と一緒ならきっといつもよりはかどる。
She's super trying to sell him the idea.
それに、 有原くんの学力がどれほどなのか知っておきたいしな。
Okay, so this is what's really her motivation. Her motivation is she's scoping him out. She's like, all right, she's identified him as a potential, she's like, I could see myself marrying this guy, and that's terrifying. So she's like, all right, he's got to be physically fit, he's got to be mentally fit. It's like and socially like adept. Like she's gonna be checking off the checklist items. Oh gosh, Hazuki. Okay.
あ、いや、それよりどうだ。私と一緒に勉強するのは嫌か？
Well, it's not like I have anything against studying with her. I'm actually glad she asked, albeit a little confused as to why. I guess I can.
そうか、よかった。
She smiles happily and nods. Man, she's so cute.
ならついでに提案なんだが、有原くんの部屋で勉強しないか？
Warning! Why? Wouldn't it be better to do it in the library?
いや、図書館は閉館時間があるし、人の出入りも激しい。慣れ親しんだ自分の部屋で勉強した方が集中できるだろう。
She's thought this through. Well, yeah, but should the dorm manager be hanging out with a guy in his room?
それは本来あまり良くないことだ。
Yeah, so let's just do it in the library.
しかし、時と場合による。
she's like, yeah, it wouldn't look great, but that's fine. What?
そうだ。OJT というやつだな。
All right. Satoru, you should have warning lights going off in your head. There's something going on. She's just doing mental gymnastics now.
大丈夫だ。私はやましいことなどしない。
Okay. Usually the girl is one worried about a guy doing something to them.
有原くんはそんなことしないはずだ。
She really trusts me a lot, huh? Alright, I guess we can study in my room.
OK なんだな。じゃあ、善は急げだ。
Don't say it
早
so
速、
loud.
有原くんの部屋に行こう。
People are gonna get the wrong idea. She's so crazy. Here we are. Why are you attacking? The moment I open the door, she scurries inside and begins to look outside restlessly. What are you doing?
目撃者がいないか確認している。寮長が男の部屋に入り浸っているなどと噂をされたら大問題だろ？
We could avoid that by just not doing it here. Why didn't we do this at the library again?
大丈夫だ。改めてお邪魔します。
Yeah. She looks around, surveying my room.
随分と綺麗に片付いているんだな。
I guess. I haven't been here long, though.
男子の部屋というのはもっとこう乱雑なものだと勝手に想像していたんだが。
Entirely based differently on the boy in question. I had a roommate who was the personification of utter chaos when it came to his bedroom living space. And then I had another roommate who was the perfectionist who kept it perfectly clean and vacuumed daily. I was somewhere on the middle of the spectrum. I kept it relatively tidy and usually made my bed in the mornings if I wasn't running late. But I also kind of just stuck stuff under my bed if I was in a hurry or just felt really lazy. So it would be, meh, you know?
というか、物がとても少ないな。
Just saving myself the hassle when I have to move out.
そうだな。その通りだ。
She nods with great understanding.
私もこれ以上荷物を増やすべきじゃないと分かってはいるんだが。でも、ちぬのすけは。ちぬのすけグッズだけは見ると買わずにはいられなくてな。
Oh my gosh, your room must be a den of Chinosuke.
ぬいぐるみだけでも30種類。ストラップやキーホルダー、ポスターなども全種類揃えてしまった。
I don't remember seeing that many fish things in her room. I think you might have a self-control problem. Your room also sounds like a Chinosuke shrine.
まあ、収納に困った時は実家に送って保管してもらっているから大丈夫だ。
Have you already had to do that?
ともかく、勉強を開始するか。
She starts unpacking textbooks, notebooks, and pencils.
まずは有原くんがどの程度まで理解しているか調べていくことにしよう。
Sure. Alright, makeshift test. Phew, I can't go on. It's been a couple hours. I've been studying so hard I feel exhausted now.
お疲れ様。少し休憩しようか。
She closes her books and looks up.
それにしても、勉強が苦手だと言っていた割に、ちゃんと解けているな。
She created a number of practice problems for me and then checked to see if I answered them correctly. Really?
授業で習ったことはできている。ところどころ抜けている箇所は、きっと前のところでは習っていないんだろう。そこは私がこれから抜粋して教えればいい。
It says, I can touch you that. What an interesting error. Teach, you mean. Teach, right? Right?
これなら何日かに分けて集中的に勉強すればすぐに追いつけると思うぞ。
Thanks for the help.
気にしなくていい。有原くんの力になれるのなら私も教える甲斐があるというものだ。
Aw, she's so sweet. After smiling, she furrows her brows and begins musing to herself.
心配していたより頭は悪くない。これなら合格点だ。
It helps that we have enhanced hearing. What do you mean?
やはり学習能力は重要だからな。ポイント的にどうかと思って。
She's just flat out telling us she's grading us. Score for what?
なんでもない。そうだ、次はこれだ。これを解いてみてくれ。
Sure, but were we gonna take a break? Ultimately, we skipped our break and continued studying without pause. Gosh darn it, she's a taskmaster. Several hours later, I'm kinda hungry.
そういえば、もうこんな時間か。
So surprised I'm hungry after focusing non-stop for so long. Aren't you?
そうだな。そろそろ夜食にするか。
A little late to go out though.
いや、あまり満腹になってしまっては眠くなるぞ。ほどほどにした方がいい。
What do you mean? She rummages through her stuff.
大丈夫。こんなこともあろうかと用意してきたんだ。
Whoa, really? You're the best! Whoa, what was that smirk laugh?
控えおろう。この商品が目に入らぬか。
If they're Chinosuke, like, fish crackers or something. Oh my gosh! She raises a cup of instant ramen noodles like it were a precious treasure.
わし寿司限定、ちぬのすけラーメン。
How did I know? No way.
いわゆる、ご当地限定商品という代物だぞ。
I don't see what's so special about it. Looks like they just threw a fancy packaging label on it.
はあ、わかってない。全然わかっていないな、有原くん。
Man, when she hits her stride, she's such a nerd. Yeah, I suppose I don't. She's looking at me like I'm some plebeian.
このちぬのすけラーメンはだな。わし寿司特産黒鯛の旨味を存分に生かしてカップラーメンに昇華した究極の一品なのだ。本来なら刺身で食べられる黒鯛を贅沢にもエキスだけ抽出してスープの出汁にし、麺にも黒鯛の身を粉末にして練り込むというこだわり麺。
But is it really though? Like, I have severely doubt that.
そして極めつけはこれだ。見てくれ。このちぬのすけのナルト。
I mean,
ほらほら、かわいいだろう。
She comes closer and shows me. Sure enough, there's a slice of Narutomaki that looks like it has Chinosuke's face on it instead of the usual spiral pattern. You're a little too close. Back up.
あ、すまん。つい興奮してしまって。
She and I are alone in this room right now. With that in mind, I think she should be a bit more cautious about what she does. Okay, I get it. The Chinosuke ramen is amazing. I'll eat it.
ちなみに、ちぬのすけチップスなんてものもあるんだが。
Oh my gosh, you are just... For a person who's genuinely so intelligent and so practical, you just are so obsessed with this fish. She keeps up the energetic tone. My guess would be that she's trying to shake off the awkwardness. Guess we can snack on that until the ramen's ready. I pour hot water into the cups and we enjoy the potato chips while waiting. Nom nom nom.
シャクシャク。
シャクシャク。
どうだ？ちぬのすけチップスの味は。
They're good.
そうか。よかった。
She's so excited. They're good enough, as regular salty potato chips tend to be. I just don't get where the fish flavor is supposed to be.
私もそこが少し引っかかりはするが、これは味ではなく他の要素を楽しむものなんだ。
What's that supposed to mean?
いや、子供っぽいと笑われるかもしれないし。
Okay.
笑うなよ。
I will do my best. She pulls out something that looks like a card.
このお菓子にはおまけでこのちぬのすけのシールがついているんだ。全56種類でなかなかコンプリートできなくてな。もう笑うなって言ったのに。
I'm not laughing, no.
目が笑っているじゃないか。
Sorry. It was just kind of cute so you get excited over her like a little kid. You just always seem so serious. It's kind of neat that you have this childish side. I think innocence and cute is my type.
可愛らしってもうそのなんだ有原くんは口がうまいな。そんなことを言われると女の子は勘違いしてしまうぞ。
Misinterpret? Is that what it seems? I mean, I still need to work on my tact when it comes to women, though. Well, you're the girl I say these things to. She's taken aback. Was that a weird thing to say? Yes, but it's okay. It's actually a good thing.
私だけ本当か？信じていいのか？
Yeah? I mean, she's the only girl I've ever really talked so freely with before.
そっか。嬉しいな。
Her face gets red and she starts fidgeting. Even I'm getting embarrassed.
と、そういえばお湯を入れてからどれくらい経った？
About 5 minutes.
なんだと？有原くん、早く食べよう。ラーメンが伸びてしまうぞ。
She is right. If you leave it sitting too long, they do get really just soppy and not as great. We quickly open them, but the noodles have already started to get a little soggy. I can't go on anymore. After eating, we focused on studying and talked a little. I can't remember the last time I studied this hard. I think we should wrap up for today. Holy crap, she's asleep? It's pretty late already. Naturally, we have to stop at some point. Hey. Need Joan-san? She's not responding. Can you hear me? Earth and New Joan-san. Well, fetch, we're in a pickle now. She fell asleep. New Joan-san, wake up, this is my room. I tap her shoulders, but she doesn't wake up. Hello? How can you just go to a guy's room and fall asleep like this? Wait, she isn't trying to tempt me to do something, is she? No, she couldn't pull that off. No way, she'd never do something like that. Come on, wake up now. I can't do anything I want to you if you're asleep. I can do anything I want to you if you're asleep. Despite my frequent calling, she doesn't respond. Maybe she is then. Oh well. She must have been really tired if she fell asleep in here. I'd feel a bit bad at waking her. Good night. As she continues sleeping peacefully, I put a blanket over her.
Riddle Joker.
This is gonna be great. She's gonna wake up, she's gonna freak out, she's gonna burst into the hallway, and someone's gonna be standing there and be like, what? Early next morning, I wake up right around when Joan-san does. Good morning.
Huh?
Here we go. After a short pause, she jumps to her feet. Hi, this is my room too, before you ask. She looks around and finally grasps the situation. Yep. Yeah, you were sleeping so soundly, I just couldn't dare wake you up. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. It's all good, you were probably just tired from helping me study so late into the night. She pats down her clothes, but stops around her chest area for a second. No, I did not! Yes? I put a blanket on you, that's it! No, I swear on it, I did not lay a single finger on you. Why do you sound disappointed? Absolutely not. She wanted me to do that? I think you're very attractive.
でも、年頃の男女が同じ部屋で一晩過ごして、何もないというのは。
That he respects you? Well, I can see why you'd think that. Truth be told, I thought you might be tempting me at first. But after thinking about it, I figured you'd only really fall asleep in here because you knew you could trust me. I'm her shogun in shining armor or whatever, after all. I don't necessarily agree with her appraisal of me, but I can tell she thinks very highly of me. I can't betray a girl that respects me that much, no matter how attractive you are. There you go. Immediately she blushes fiercely.
今のは凄まじく高ポイントだ。
Really? What's this score she keeps talking about? Doesn't take rocket surgery to figure that one out, boy.
Riddle Joker.
Hey, Levy 6 here. Contract established. I proceed to report on how our screening of suspects with aims is bore no fruit. Among all students, Nijo and Hazuki is the only one that can manipulate water. From what she told me, at the very least, it doesn't seem like she's actively involved in these incidents, though. She's the daughter of a police officer and a very honest person by nature, so I highly doubt she'd lie about this. Yes, I can attest to that. I mean, here's the thing. They might have all involved water, but they also involved pressure. I'd look for people who can manipulate air. That would be a way of doing things. Also, temperature could be a way of manipulating these types of issues. Although, I feel like Johnson would have had a stronger reaction had the sink exploded with hot water. So maybe not the temperature angle. Are we in a rush for some reason? Last time we spoke, he said it was a preventative measure, so there was no need to hurry. Wait, bad and scary news. Those sound like the same thing to me. Does it honestly matter? I'll go with the bad news, I guess. Right. That is unfortunate. So the bad news is not only are these attacks not stopping, they're escalating. So the police is getting involved now. Essentially, we're dealing with a terrorist at this point. Because, like, again, like, it sounds extreme, but think about it. Somebody's using, like, fairly unregulated abilities to harass, scare, disrupt people's lives. And it seems like the motivation, the only likely motivation, is to mess with people. That is a form of social terrorism. It's not so much like, it's not at the level of like actively trying to destroy and like take lives, but social terrorism is still bad because it can deter people, it can make people more frightened of astral abilities. Like, it is a problem. Exactly. What's the media saying about it? So we need to act fast. Yeah, that's definitely bad news. I understand the situation. But we couldn't identify any suspects through the aims. We need new information if we want to get anywhere. Do we not have any leads? No videos or surveillance or cameras or anything? Maybe, but the thing is that if it's a single individual, then like we would be looking for someone who's in each of these cases. So that's still useful, right? So that's probably intentional, huh? That's not good. Looks like they have enough brains to cover their steps. It'd be difficult to catch them by normal means. What should I do?
鷲津市内の捜索、警戒に当たらせる。お前は学院の学生にターゲットを絞って調査を続けろ。
Understood. The criminal is taking bolder actions now, and because of that, I have to suspect all students, no exceptions. So what's the scary news then?
何者かがお前の身辺を探っている動きがある。出元は不明だが、どうも学院関係者のようだ。
I wonder if it's Hazuki's parents, because she's told them that she's interested in him, so maybe they're doing some searching. Someone's spying on me.
突破につながる線は全てこちらで握りつぶしておいた。潜入が暴露する心配はない。
Thanks.
だが今後、情報を得ようとお前に接近してくる人物が現れるかもしれない。十分に注意を払っておけ。
Crap. A person getting close to me so they can draw out information. One specific person comes to mind. She's clearly been asking me to spend time with her often and asks me questions to get to know me better. But it can't be her, surely.
どうした？何か心当たりでもあるのか？
No, I'll be careful.
あ、そうしてくれ。
That's unfortunate because it's totally not her. She's like, look, she's in like potential husband material. But she is gonna come on strong. Huh? Hearing my name called, I turn around to find Nijuan-san running toward me. Hi. What's gotten you out of breath? She catches her breath and shows me what she has in her hands. Hmm? Oh.
そう。鬼金繁華町の年末スペシャルの DVD だ
Oh, fun.
ずっと DVD 化を待っていたんだが、今日やっと発売したんだ
God, movie date? Come on! Good for you.
それでだな、どうだろう。よければ、有原くんも一緒に見ないか
Please say yes, please! Weren't you looking forward to watching this, though? You could enjoy it on your own and lend it to me later.
いや、私はリアルタイムで一度見たし、有原くんと一緒に見られたらと思ったんだが。
Aww. Alright then, I'll watch it with you.
遠慮なんて、むしろ私の提案に乗ってくれて嬉しい。
So, where are we watching it? I imagine it'll be my room or hers.
この間は有原くんの部屋にお邪魔させてもらったからな。今日は私の部屋に招待しよう。
Oh boy. Oh boy. So this is your room. See, her room looks nice.
どうぞ、狭苦しいところだが。
It's a room that really reflects the interests of the person living in it. It has a very traditional feel to it. I thought that visiting a girl's room for the first time would make me nervous, but the atmosphere is incredibly calming. I really like it. It's pretty cool.
そうか、古臭くないか？
Not at all. It feels actually pretty modern for a Japanese design.
でも、学生らしくはないだろう。
Who cares about that? Well, I guess it may be a little on the simpler side for a girl's room, but I love it.
好き？
I don't tend to decorate my room much, so I'm kind of jealous. You have good taste.
部屋のことか。
What are you talking about?
いや、とにかく、そうだな。ここに座って待っていてくれ。
I had a very similar moment in my real life of that, actually. I remember I had a girl I was heavily crushing on. It turned out at this point, while we'd been friends for years, she had started having feelings for me. Finally, it actually worked out really well. We ended up dating. It was really fun. It was actually like a legitimate like story about like two friends who eventually fall for each other through their high school experience. Like, it was really cute, and I love thinking back on the story itself. It's really fun in that regard. We didn't get a happy ever after, but it was still a great high school relationship. It was wonderful. But we did something like around the time when like things were starting to tiptoe toward us actually like going out with each other. I remember we both shared a lot of things that we were passionate about, and like we would introduce each other to things as well. But one of the things we turned out independently loved was the Disney movie I consider classic, Treasure Planet. You know, Treasure Island, but in space. Really fun movie, super underrated. It's like, I feel like people either have seen it and really liked it or never heard of it. It's a really fun movie, and we both loved this movie. Like, to the point where I can probably still quote most of the lines from it from memory, because I would watch it so often when I was in high school. I just loved it. And she could too, to the point where I remember we had kind of like one of these like a very similar to this date, like where it wasn't a date, but it was kind of a date because it was just us. We were at her house and we watched the movie, and we were both such nerds about it that we were like reciting the lines dramatically to each other as like our favorite characters, like as if we were doing like a play reading or something, but with each other. It was really fun, and just kind of like letting us enjoy the moment together. And so when her birthday came around that year, I remember her talking about how much like she loves like the music of that movie, and how like she one time casually mentioned how she was like, she tried to find, because like this was like iTunes was probably the biggest like legal music like sharing site at the time, and she's just like, yeah, I searched all over iTunes but they don't seem to have it. And I was like, so she was like disappointed about that, because like she could only like enjoy the music from like a YouTube video, which was like a not legal upload of parts of the movie, or watching the movie itself. So I did some digging and I found that there was some store in Great Britain, in like near London, that had a few English CDs, like movie score CDs, just in storage. Apparently they put them up on eBay for like £12. Like it was like nothing. It was actually more expensive to ship it than it was to buy it. But I found it and I was like, there we go. So I shipped it specially over and I gave it to her for her birthday. So it's like one of those things where like, yeah, like her friends got her like, makeup and like collectibles, and like her parents got her some like piece of furniture or something she'd wanted for her room or something. I don't know. But then like, we're sitting down and I gave her her present. I was like, here, I got this for you. And she opened it up because it's very small. And she opened it, she saw it was like the music that she hadn't been able to find. And she looked at it and she's like, oh my gosh, I love you for this. And like, she was talking about the item, but there was so much genuine feeling in it that it made my heart skip a beat, like it did for Hazuki right here. Now, I don't think it was a mistake on her part. I think it was genuine, but that's part of what made it so great, So it's funny because like just having a very similar moment is really cool. It's really funny because like my life has been simultaneously some of the most boring lives you'll ever hear about, and yet at the same time I do think about like some of my high school like relationship and dating experiences, and honestly, if I wrote them down in a visual novel, I honestly think I could make a fairly compelling dating rom-com general simulator like this, just because of like, I feel like my life was really tropey in a weird way. It never felt tropey, but when I reflect on these types of interactions I'd have with some of these like girls that I was like either interested in or not interested in, but who were interested in me, it really kind of played out a lot like these games do, which is really odd. It's kind of cool. Maybe someday I'll make like my own like dating visual novel, like loosely based on the actual events of my life. Because I genuinely think I had enough interesting experiences that could make a compelling story, especially if you tweaked it, obviously, to make it more like narrative. You wouldn't take a whole lot to make it really dynamic, interesting, and relatable, because it's like it's based on real like life, but also make it engaging and fun and like quirky, like an actual game. Anyway, moving on. She beckons me to sit and then brings tea and snacks.
あいにく日本茶しかなかったから勝手に入れてしまったが。
Oh, how dare you make Japanese tea? Oh, you brewed it and everything? Thanks.
ソ茶ですが、どうぞ。
All right. I take a sip and right away I'm amazed at how delicious it is. Wow, this is really good. I can't really describe the flavor, but I like it.
それはよかった。
Did you use special tea leaves or something? Is it Shinosuke based?
いや、ごく普通のお茶だぞ。
Okay. Huh. I can never make tea as good as this whenever I try.
お茶は入れ方一つで味が変わってしまうんだ。私は日本茶が好きでな。入れ方なども研究したんだ。
Does that make sense? I've never brewed tea ever, so I would have no clue. The most I've done is like herbal tea where you have the tea bag in hot water. And I imagine that there's technique to that too, but I don't know what that is either. Oh, that's neat. Guess it's no surprise that she's into tea preparation considering her other interests.
相手の好みがわからない場合や、お茶の種類が少ない時などは、基本的に振る舞う相手の状態に合わせるといい。有原くんは今帰宅したばかりで、きっと喉が渇いているはずだから、ぬるめに入れて味をあっさりめにしてみた。
Interesting.
逆にじっくり味わいたい時は、熱くして濃いめにするといい。
Okay.
もしおかわりしたい時は、その時の気分を言ってみてくれ。
Don't tempt me. Sure, thanks. I don't know if it's kind-heartedness or a manic fixation on doing something right, but one thing's for certain, she's dead serious about tea. Actually, I'm kind of surprised. I haven't seen a single Chinosuke so far.
何を期待していたんだ？
You talked about it like your room was full of them.
あれだけ千之助のことでからかわれたら、私だって学習する。わざわざ目につくところになど置かない。
Also, I apologize. I've been saying Chinosuke. It's Chinonosuke. 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 That's how you say it. Chinonosuke. Does that sound right? I think it sounds right. Hey, I don't mock you. I just feel like you become unchained whenever Chinonosuke comes up.
面白がって。
Sorry about that. You're just kind of cute when you get fired up about stuff. She spits out her tea. Are you okay? Just stay still. I take out a handkerchief and wipe her mouth. Careful, got all the way down your neck.
有原くん。
You didn't get burned, did you?
大丈夫。
Good thing I didn't make it piping hot, huh?
もう自分でできるから。
Her face turns beet red. She begins shaking nervously. Oh, sorry, that was my bad. I just reacted. I'm used to doing stuff like that for Nanami, but I have to realize that other girls aren't my sister.
いや、心配してくれてありがとう。お茶入れ直してくれ。
She's like, I gotta go make tea! She hurriedly cleans up the tea and leaves with a tray in hand. I think I overstepped my bounds right there. Even I'm a bit shocked I actually did that. My double life has always prevented me from getting close to others. I bet it's better for me that I don't. But at some point I dropped my guard around Nijo-san. Am I losing my edge? Maybe it's her honest, straightforward personality that makes me feel at ease around her? But she's also trying to learn more about me. I know I should be wary of her, but I can't find it. I just find it so hard to.
すまない、遅くなったな。それじゃあ時間も遅くなってしまうし、早速だが一緒に見よう。
Yeah, I'm ready. She invited me to watch one of her favorite movies with her. I can't doubt her. I just can't. There's something so wonderful about sharing like a favorite movie with somebody. Of course, like whatever you do, like me, like I always end up watching them more than the movie because I just want to see how they react to my favorite moments. And like I want to see what moments stick out for them too. Finally, having finished watching the movie special, she turns off the TV and turns to me.
有原くんはどうだった？楽しめただろうか？
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
よかった！やっぱり鬼金ハンカチョウは外れがないな。特にあのスピード感あふれる盾。私もいつかああやってビシッと決めたいものだ。
She immediately brings down a sword. Don't worry, I thought you'd already be cool enough with the sword.
この前？傘での盾を見られた時のことか？
Just a bit. The memory makes her wince.
そのことはきれいさっぱり忘れてくれ。
Why? I thought it was really cool.
そういう問題ではない。よもやお主、そのこと他言はしておらぬだろうな。
Who are you, Onikin? She begins talking like she came out of the DVD we just watched.
もう、有原くんはすぐにそうやって私をからかう。
Sorry, I really mean it when I say you look cool though. In terms of sword fights though, I think I prefer the ones in the Wild Shogun more. They're more flashy and choreographed.
その違いがわかるか。有原くんもどっぷりと時代劇の沼にはまったな。
What a great moment when you see someone like bloom into like enjoying a hobby. Yeah, I'm almost done with the ones you lent me already.
素晴らしい。有原くんと時代劇についていろいろ語り合えるなんて 私にとってこれ以上の幸せはない。
Her eyes shine and sparkle with excitement. Yeah, it's always nice to have someone you can talk to about your hobbies with. I was never really interested in them at first, but I think being able to discuss them with you has made them a lot more enjoyable. Honestly, I think this is the first time I've actually picked up a hobby. So thanks for introducing me to it. When I thank her, she starts blushing for some reason.
そうだな。やはり同じ趣味を持っているというのはポイントが高いと思うし。
Again, what's with this score?
そういえば、私も幼い頃にお父様と一緒に見て、二人で時代劇の話をしているうちに好きになった。私もお父様のおかげでこの趣味を持てたんだな。
My love for sci-fi, I think I even mentioned this before, probably started because of my dad's enjoyment and sharing of watching Star Wars and Star Trek with me. It's like the foundation of my love for sci-fi, for fantasy, for just geeky stuff in general. You sound like you were a pretty mature kid.
大人びているのか?
Well, the whole punishing evil message is easy to understand, and the fights are cool, but aren't there some pretty deep themes in these shows? You must have been pretty smart if you could understand them.
いや、当時は全然わかっていなかったぞ。でもお父様が子供にもわかりやすく説明してくれたからな。
That makes sense.
荒くれ大将軍が好きなのもお話がわかりやすかったからだ。ただ、お父様の説明で一つだけどうしても納得がいかないことがあった。
What was that?
時代劇だと稀に悪いことをした人間を許して逃がすという展開があるだろ?
Yeah, that can be that could be annoying. Yeah, usually ones that are tearjerkers.
悪いことをした人間は悪い人間だ。なのにどうして勝手に許してしまうのか。
If I were to answer that, I'd say, well, most of the time, people aren't just good or just evil. They're complicated. And it's good to believe in a world that you're fighting to protect has room for forgiveness. There are some crimes that probably should be stopped at all costs, regardless of what that cost is. But there's something truly human about being able to recognize the potential for someone to become better than they are. And that there is something powerful about that.
そうお父様に訴えたら、なぜか笑って、それが人情ってものだよと教えてくれたのだが。
I can almost picture her stomping her feet and throwing a fit because her dad didn't give her a satisfactory answer.
情状酌量の余地はあるだろうが、罪は罪だろう。その時々で勝手に許してしまっていいものなのか？堅苦しいことは言いたくないが、いかなる事情があろうと規則は規則。例えば私は寮長をしているけど、私の勝手な裁量で目こぼしをしたりしなかったりするのは公平ではないと思わないか？
Yeah, guess you have a point.
だとしたら、人情って何だろうと思ってな。
She furrows her brow pensively.
こんな風に考えるのは、私が間違っているのだろうか。
No. No, I think that's your greatest asset.
いいところなのか?
You're serious, honest, and that's why people respect you and rely on you. I think it's part of your charm.
私の魅力。
You may not be able to comprehend what he means by the second, but just take your time and think about it. There's no need to rush to find the answer right away.
そうだな。有原くんの言う通りだ。ありがとう。今日は一緒に DVD を見て話ができて、有意義な時間だった。
I had tons of fun too. Let's watch something together again sometime.
ああ、もちろん。約束だぞ。
Oh yeah. That was a successful date right there.
リドルジョーカー。
It may not have been labeled a date yet, but that was absolutely a date. Another view. Oh. Alright, so we'll have to figure out whose view we're even going to be seeing here next time, because this is where we're going to be stopping. I think it's a great start to their relationship so far. I do think that we're seeing the troubled waters on the horizon, that eventually things are going to escalate and he's going to be forced to like try and like confront the fact that like he's got this essentially a glaring weakness where she's kind of somehow ended up matching a profile of the exact kind of person who's like looking into him and like trying to find out his information. Heck, maybe it is just her, but like he's going to have to like decide and he might inadvertently end up pushing her away out of fear and of betrayal, and that could really hurt her, and we'll see how that plays out. That's my guess, is that's going to be the major conflict there, but we'll have to see how that all plays out. Either that, or what if she catches him doing something shady? That would put them both in a really bad situation, and it would make them both have to confront their ideals directly. That would actually be a lot more dynamic, because she would feel responsible in having to turn him in, but wouldn't want to because she believes in him and trusts him, despite the fact that he's blatantly breaking the rules. And he would have to, like, he's not supposed to disclose who he is, especially to somebody who could potentially be a criminal that he's trying to investigate. But he won't be able to do that because he trusts her beyond, like, reasonable, like, verifiable alibi and verifiable, like, reasons. So, like, the organization might start turning against him and believing he might be turning traitor, and she might be feeling like she's betraying her own vows, and including, like, what her father stands for, and yet they have to decide, like, whom do they trust in more? Their own preconceived and their vowed, like, standards, or each other. That would be really dynamic. I kind of hope that's the way it goes, because I feel like that's a much more interesting story to explore. So we'll have to see. But anyway, thank you guys so much for being here today. Thank you so much for joining me on the channel. As always, it's a pleasure having you here. I look forward to reading your comments and seeing what you thought about this episode in general, and also just the route that we're going down and maybe my thoughts on it. I got this kind of soapbox a little bit this episode. That was really nice. So I'd love to know what your thoughts are about all of that. And of course, thank you so much for just spending your time here. It, like, helps the channel. It means that we get to grow. It means that we get to show more of these stories to the world, and hopefully help bring more people to enjoy these stories with me, and, like, being able to share them together. Especially thank you to the patrons who are so amazing to actually support this channel directly, like you are. I don't deserve you. You're fantastic. Thank you for being such fantastic lab mems and, you know, really shining and rising up. I am going to record a patron cast this weekend, hopefully, so look forward to that. But yeah, I hope you guys are having a great time. Hope you have a great start to your weekend. And until the next video watching me up, see me in next. I'll see you there.